بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. I have no speech. I was invited by the CEO. But number one, I want to assure the crew and the captains of this inaugural flight that as a Minister for Defense I have been to Mogadishu many times. Not by Kenya Airways or by any other, but I've been there. It's one of the most secure airports in the whole of Africa. So don't be scared. And I'm sure by the time you come back this evening, Alan, you'll call me. And two, this is this inaugural flight. I really want to thank our Minister for Transport, Honorable Kipchumba, for going out of his way and signing the bilateral agreement, air bilateral agreement. That is, the action of the minister is what has led to our function today. So Minister, thank you very much. Kenya Airways competitors are in Mogadishu. So Kenya Airways cannot be away from a country which is now the youngest country to join the East Africa community. And the only country that, apart from being the member of East Africa community, shares a border with Kenya. Somalia doesn't share a border with Tanzania, with the Uganda, with the Rwanda, with the Burundi, with DRC. And that means a lot to us. I also want to thank President William Ruto, our president, and President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud. In the history of our relationship, today our relationship is the best. And that is because of our two presidents. Today the relationship between Somalia and Kenya is the best. It has never been like this before. So Kenya Airways going is at the right time, the right moment. Kenya Airways, as I was talking to Alan and his colleagues, and where is my former classmate who is in charge of marketing? Yes. You have got a huge clientele. From the security sector, we have a huge clientele. Artemis is there. Me talking to you, we have over 3,500 Kenya Defense Forces serving under Artemis in one of the sectors in Somalia. So we have people who move from Kenya to Somalia on a weekly basis. We have a diplomatic community that is based in Nairobi that also cover Somalia and go to Mogadishu very often. The UN family is huge in Somalia and those countries in the whole of Africa. Our citizens from Somalia, the private sector, the business, the community, those who want to access good health care. If you're in Mogadishu, you're in our neighboring countries, your choice is yours. What you find in Nairobi is goods and services provided in the first world. You can find it in Nairobi at the price of third world. So if you want to get good medical care, you fly to Nairobi Hospital, those who can afford Aga Khan Hospital. When we lifted visa between us and Djibouti, courtesy of President William Ruto and President Ismail of Djibouti, there are many, many people coming to our hospitals from Djibouti. So the clients are there. And Somalia has moved from point A to point B. Our crew and our leadership Kenya Airways will come and report. It's not the Somalia of the many years. Many of the international community have embassies in Mogadishu. So Alan, I think you must be, very soon you will be doing daily flights like your competitors in the region. And then there's a huge Somali community in the diaspora. that want to come to Nairobi, they want to go to Kismayo, they want to go to Gorowe, they want to go to Mogadishu. So this transit hub is going to be very important. But Minister, I really want to ask you, today the chairman of Kenya Revenue Authority is here, sitting next to you. The chairman of Kenya Airport Authority is sitting next to you. You must speak about corruption at the airport. President William Ruto is serious about the war on corruption. And our airports minister, you help us. We will not allow you to harass passengers just because you want to enrich your pocket. The way Kenyans and everybody, when you travel to other airports, the service you enjoy, the minister cannot invest. Minister Murkomen has a huge plan, and government has a huge plan for this airport. But we cannot allow passengers who have traveled 8 hours, 5 hours, when they reach KAA, they go through things that other people don't go through other airports. I think I must speak about that. I mean, it's in the public domain. And I think we should not allow that. And minister is aware. Our security agents, without compromising the security and safety of our country. And we will do that. Kenya Airways is the pride of Africa, is our airline of choice as a country. This is their airport. This is a hub for Kenya Airways, just like the way Emirates is for Dubai, the way KLM is for Heathrow, the way British Airways is for Heathrow. So Kenya Airways, for it to grow, its business is about passengers moving. So Alan, I think, please help us, help the chairman of Kenya Airport Authority, help the chairman of Kenya Revenue Authority and the leadership, help our minister. When you see a problem, you do like we do in defense. We hear something, we don't lose even 1 minute. We are there. By the time we are told that this guy is that, then we have solved a bigger problem. So talk to the minister. We have a very good, competent minister. So I think the small problems we have at our airport must come to an end. We must increase our numbers. Our new ETA, visa regime is bringing people to our country. You can't tell people, please come to our country. And then when he comes, anapata aibu kidogo paka tutoe. It's not looking good. So I thought I was to be given a ticket to go to Mogadishu. I love Mogadishu. It has the best seafood. But I was told, I wanted to tell Minister Murkomen, we fly to Mogadishu, tukae leo usiku, kesho, alafu turudi Saturday, lakini Alan in his own wisdom, I think he realized maybe he has another function in Mogadishu. Yeah, he has another function in Mogadishu, maybe one of the weekends. And make sure that function is on a weekend. We leave you on Friday. So that Murkomen can see how Mogadishu looks like at night, on a Saturday and Sunday. So with those very few remarks, let me take this opportunity. I'll help you. Invite my colleague, the Minister for Transport, Roads and Transport, Honorable Kituba Murkomen.
Thank you very much, Honorable Duale. It is in rare occasions where I get invited by the CS of Defense and my senior brother. But I want to thank you very much for being here today. Honorable Duale, Ambassador Jibril Ibrahim Abdule, who is the ambassador of Somalia to Kenya, 3 months old, and welcome to Kenya. Thank you very much for working together. Ambassador Mwai, who is representing the PS Foreign Affairs, KQ CEO, my friend Alan Kilavuka, Chair of the Kenya Ports Authority, Honorable Caleb, Chair of the Kenya Revenue Authority, Anthony Maura, and the Chair also of Kenya Port KPA, who is here, Honorable Benjamin Tayari, our CEO of KCAA, distinguished guests who are here, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon again. This is a very special occasion for us, and I want to say that it's a culmination of a process that has been ongoing. KQ was already flying to Somalia, but we had to enhance our cooperation through the bilateral air service agreement and further conversation and consultations with the government of Kenya and government of Somalia has made it possible for us to have the standards enhanced insofar as our aviation relations is concerned. I'm honored to address you here today at Terminal 2 of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on this very important occasion, marking the relaunch of Kenya Airways flights, direct flights to Mogadishu, Somalia. KQ started operations to Mogadishu on 17 December 2018, as we've been told, and stopped in 2020 because of the lockdowns caused by coronavirus. Therefore, this launch is a great milestone, coming just 185 days after the conclusion and signing of the Kenya-Somalia bilateral air service agreement on the 9th of August 2023. It also comes about 3 years after COVID-19 forced the airline to halt operations to Somalia. Ambassador, we had very good consultations with my colleague, the CS, the Minister of Transport, and passed my utmost regards to her, to the government of Somalia, so that we made it possible to sign the bilateral air service agreement. Another significant development that preceded today's historic event is that the Somali airspace has regained its Class A classification after more than 30 years, a move that will significantly improve safety in the region and enhance connectivity. The resumption of KQ's operation is therefore the triumph of aviation against the shocks like public health emergencies, as well as a celebration of the resilience and strategic foresight of our nation's aviation sector. This is indeed the true spirit of the pride of Africa. The return of KQ flights to Somalia comes on the back of a resurgent air transport business in Kenya. For instance, the number of passengers passing through our airports increased by 9% from 10.326 million in 2022 to 11.147 million in 2023. The government is therefore delighted at the commitment of our national carrier to align itself with and support the priorities of the government to promote connectivity, regional integration, and trade among other goals. I am grateful to the government of Somalia through the Somalia Civil Aviation Authority for expediting the foreign operator certificate and approval of the winter schedule for passenger and cargo operations. The resumption of KQ flights to Mogadishu underscores Kenya's steadfast commitment to bolstering regional connectivity and boosting economic prosperity across our shared borders. With the recent admission of Somalia to East African community, I applaud Kenya Airways for taking this stride that will contribute in a big way to deepening the integration of our community. This move is also an important step in our journey towards the full implementation of single African air trade market as envisaged by the Agenda 2063 of the African Union. By reinstating direct air links between Nairobi and Mogadishu, we are laying the foundation for enhancing trade, expanding investment horizons, and enriching cultural exchanges. Such initiatives ignite economic activity and nurture collaboration between our two nations. The role of air transport in promoting people-to-people connection and driving peaceful coexistence and common prosperity cannot be stressed enough. Ladies and gentlemen, looking into the future, we need to take advantage of KQ's resumed flight to deepen sustainable development and inclusive growth. Our respective ministries and other stakeholders need to work together to address the infrastructure gaps, streamline regulatory framework, and cultivate an enabling environment for long-term prosperity. On the infrastructure side, as has been alluded by my colleague, Honorable ADEN BARE, we are, as a government, in the final stages of advertising for a PPP arrangement to build a new terminal. Where we stand here, this date a monument of shame, because as a country, a friend of mine told me, your country is big, but the airport is small. And that when someone lands here, they don't feel like really what they see represents what Kenya is. And they are right. And we, as I said, we accept constructive criticism. And therefore, for this Friday, I want to thank the Kenya Airports Authority, led by the chair who is here, for working very hard in the plans that we had. We are receiving our final report from our construction advisor this Friday. And in another 1 week, you will see in the newspapers an advertisement for construction of a new terminal, hopefully through PPP, and we should complete the process in less than 6 months and come back, have a contractor hopefully before the end of this year commence the works. Our plan is to ensure that Jomo Kenyatta International Airport will have a brand new terminal, and then the PPP arrangement will ensure that this old terminal next will have a link to the new terminal, which will be actually sitting around this area, and based on the designs that I have seen. And therefore, the government of President William Ruto is very committed to delivering transformative aviation sector in the country, and you'll be seeing this as we move forward. We ask for your support and collaboration, and I want to thank you for sure for doing a fantastic job to make sure that we are reaching that stage. I also want to reiterate what Honorable Duale said earlier. We as a ministry and as a transport ministry and Kenya Airports Authority, we are actually the landlord accommodating so many people operating from this airport. Unfortunately, the sins of other actors within the premises of KAA are actually attributed to us. And so we have a problem if, and I'm happy the chair, Maura, was doing another business around the airport and he found himself here. You are a very important stakeholder as Kenya Revenue Authority. And we cannot continue in the manner in which we are continuing our relationship between Kenya Revenue Authority and their customers passing through the airport. Because there are many people who feel that in your enthusiasm to raise more revenue in the country, they feel they are inconvenienced. And I'm happy that we have had a conversation with you to make sure that we will continue raising revenue in the country without inconveniencing any passenger who is passing through our airport. The other thing is that we have also security operations going on within the airport, and we appreciate our security department, the Ministry of Interior, and also appreciate the immigration department within the Ministry of Interior. They are doing a good job. But there are few people who, in the process of doing this job, they want to take advantage of the requirement to observe certain security operations to harass our customers. And as I said, we want to streamline the people who can access certain parts of the airport, and we have done so. I know that many people are complaining because we took their passes from them, because we want to make sure that everybody operating within the airport can be accounted for. But also, if you are an officer from another department but operating in the airport, it's important for you to make sure that you abide by the law. You don't use that opportunity to solicit for bribes. It creates a very bad image for us, because there are people who don't even know Kenya. I know some countries I've been to, I've never exited the airport, but when someone asks me, I say, yeah, it's a good country, I pass through the airport. It's important that this airport reflects the character and the aspirations of the people of Kenya and the country as a country. In that direction, we have a consultation ongoing between KRA, which is the Ministry of Treasury, and Ministry of Interior and ourselves, to make sure that we complete the adoption of the airport charter, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport Charter, which will demonstrate the working relationship between Kenya Airports Authority and the other agents who are operating here, including reporting mechanisms, so that when Kenya Airports Authority will take responsibility, we know that the officer who is working with the immigration, the officer who's working on security issues, and the officer who's working on taxes know that even though they report to a different department of government and ministry, they have an obligation to report to the CEO of Kenya Airports Authority. And therefore, Kenyans will have the power to lay the blame where the authority and responsibility is lying. At the moment, you want to take disciplinary action as a Minister of Transport, but the person who has caused the problem is in another ministry. And this disjointed relationship is not necessary. We want a whole of government approach. And you will be seeing me with the CS Domo and CS Kindiki advancing through the cabinet a one-stop shop in terms of airport charter that will make sure that the responsibilities to deal with the issues that Honorable Duale has said here, and many Kenyans have been able to tell me that in the past. The last thing I want to assure Kenya is that you are very prime, you are an anchor tenor of the airport. Even though we have a few issues here and there, we will not send the auctioneers to you. When we feel that you have delayed in paying our dues, we will be very kind to you, because without you, the airport is not there. And we want to make sure that our relationship also is good, is advancing. And as a ministry, we want to make sure that Kenya Airways comes back to being the pride of Africa that we know, in terms of number of fleets, number of destinations. This restoration of Mogadishu gives us hope that the rest of the destinations will be restored in the near future. Don't worry, we as a country, we don't fear competition. People want to compare us with this airline, with this airline. That's very good, because as a continent, we must compete. But I believe, Mr. Kilafuka, that you have if you exploit your potential, you have the capacity to make sure that Kenya Airways comes back to be the #1 airline in the continent in terms of fleet and destination. And you have our support as a ministry to make sure that we achieve that which we need to achieve. Let us seize this moment to deepen our diplomatic relations and cultivate closer cooperation between Kenya and Somalia through initiatives that promote dialogue and mutual understanding. We can build a more cohesive and prosperous East Africa community grounded in shared aspirations and collective progress. Once again, I extend my appreciation to Kenya Airways for its unwavering dedication to excellence and forward-thinking innovation. Let us unite in our resolve as we march into a bigger, brighter, more interconnected future for our all stakeholders. And it is your business, Alan, to make sure that I go to Mogadishu for the first time. Yeah? You must just find a reason. Yeah, just find a reason for me to go. Maybe it's the ambassador who will find a reason for me to go. But honestly, it is embarrassing sometimes as African leaders and cabinet secretaries, ministers, to have gone to other destinations out of the world, yet 1 hour away, we have not interacting and understanding. So I'm willing to go even at my own cost. If there is no government, important government, because nowadays we have been told that we must be very careful in the number of trips we go out of the country. But since Somalia is just next door, I can go on my own resources. Yeah, I can pay a ticket for a weekend and come back, so that I also show that I understand the region we are working in. Asanteni sana, and I therefore, with those many remarks, I want to say congratulations. Thank you. We will go and cut the ribbon on site. But thank you very much, and thank you very much. God bless.